Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Mani Shresht, working as Assistant Professor at Haryana School of Business, GJ University of Science and Technology, Hisar. Today, we are going to discuss about the topic Career Development and Employee Mobility. Before starting the discussion, let's have a look at the contents. The discussion will start with the introduction of the topic, followed by career development, systems and career, phases of career development, relevance and objectives of career development, issues related with the career development stages, employee mobility and types of employee mobility. It will end with a summary. By the end of this module, students will be able to understand the concept and process of career development and get familiar with the concept and ways of employee mobility. In earlier times, business, organization and jobs were quite stable as complexities and competition were bare minimum. Therefore, the organization could assure their employees lifelong employment in return for individual loyalty. People are more concerned about employment rather than careers. Today, the scenario has changed completely and it is much more complex and uncertain. The reasons are globalization, constant changes in economy, customer expectation and technology. These situations push everyone hard to acquire newer skills and competencies to survive in the market. It is applicable to whole of their active professional life. The central theme of contemporary job is employability and not the employment. Organizations are also not untouched with these developments. They are also under constant pressure to attract and retain the best talent. The reason is that the competent employee is having lot more and better opportunities available in the outside market. Nowadays, employees want to drive their own future to the best of their skills, competencies and aspirations. This makes the concept of career and its development significant for both organization and the employees. Career is a lifelong process and describes the individual's occupation and progression and increasing success in his occupation. It can also denote sequence of related jobs. A career is considered to be the sum of total work-related experiences throughout a person's life. The progression in one's chosen occupation is often characterized by increased compensation, more responsibility, and acquiring higher status, prestige, and power. A career is denoted by getting jobs, moving between the jobs, positions, levels of responsibilities and challenges, but even more than that. Career is the most important connection between an employee and the organization. Young, talented, well-educated and skilled professionals put their career and development among the most important segments of their life, and they stay in a certain position until they see opportunities for personal and career development. Career development refers to the lifelong process of fostering and cultivating the shape of individual's working life so as to make the best use of inherent talent, skills, knowledge and interest for that person. It is concerned with the potential of employees and situations in which they are or may be at the moment and after that. It often carries a strong overtone of promotion and upward movement. Career development is vital to the individual employee as it is a step towards self-actualization. It contributes at the deepest level to working effectiveness, motivation and personal fulfillment, not only in working life but spreading also at social spheres of individual's life. Before starting to develop one's career, an individual has to make thorough consideration of possible solutions. Those solutions imply all the connections and correlations between one's needs, abilities, preferences and wishes, and the organization's capabilities, needs and possibilities. Career development has an individual and organizational aspect. Therefore, the needs, aspiration and requirements of employees and organizations should be matched. If matches and correlations between those two important actors work, then both parties can achieve positive results. The matching between the organizations and individuals' needs and interests is of significant importance because employees can give their best only when they are placed on the right job and provided with the right development and training, but also supported with the best management. In unfavorable circumstances, the stressed and the unhappy employees will be less efficient than those who find the match between job, career and personal satisfaction. If the organization denies development opportunities to its employees, it may benefit in short run, but later it will be overtaken by those which make the fullest use of their human resources. Making this matching successful, organizations may experience increased productivity, higher organization's commitment and long range effectiveness, and the employee may have higher satisfaction, security and personal development. The process of matching is also important because both an employee and the organization have their interest in the employee's career. Individual interests, abilities, desires, needs, choices or constraints, keeping in view identification of career goals and establishing plans for achieving these goals is crucial for the success of career development programs. However, sometimes it is very difficult to integrate individuals with the organization's career efforts because the rate at which an employee grows and develops may not be synchronized with the organization's need. The career systems in organizations are usually correlated with their goals and objectives. Career development can vary and this can be observed with recruitment as well as with promotions. These two dimensions further creates four categories of career development which are tightly correlated with the organization's goals and objectives as well the strategy of competition. In the event of an organization pursuing external recruitment, it recruits at least as much as it promotes within. Regarding the internal or external recruitment, the openness to the external selection can vary and these staffing systems can be more open or closed. Vertical dimension reflects the openness of the system, stressing that the more open or highly open systems are at the top while more closed ones or the systems with low openness are at the bottom. Horizontal dimension reflects the quantity of individual competition for the internal staffing opportunities. Combination of these two dimensions, that is combination of openness to external selection and promotion competition among individuals, create four kinds of systems in an organization. These systems are named as fortress, baseball team, club and academy. Let's discuss each of the system one by one. The fortress has low competition among individuals for internal staffing opportunities, but high openness to external staffing at all levels. The organizations characterized as fortress are not able to focus on individual members regarding their job security or awarding their individual merits, but want to secure educated employees with the abilities of changing orientation. This system often characterizes industries with shortages in some areas and they are usually fighting for survival. Second system is the baseball team. The baseball team characterizes highly open subsystems with the possibility of entry at all career levels, and high individual competition for the internal staffing opportunities. These organizations search for those employees who are ready to engage in the highest possible individual contribution. The most important function of human resources in such organizations is recruitment, and they are more oriented to attract talents from the outside than creating from within. The third system is the club system. The club has low openness for external selection, with an entry typically possible only at the entry levels and low competition for the opportunities among individuals. These organizations are more focused to the internal labor market, and they usually promote according to group contributions instead of the individual ones. They are more interested in seniority, loyalty status and equal relationships toward all the members than in innovation or profitability. And the last system is academy. The academy involves a fairly closed system with an entry typically possible only at the entry levels in an employee's career, as well as a high degree of training and career development based on individuals' contribution. These organizations are characterized with stability and low fluctuations. Understandably, the most important function of human resource is development, since these organizations recruit the employees from outside with the expectations that most of them will stay in the organization till retirement. Career development has certain phases, and these are broadly divided into 4. The first phase is known as apprenticeship. This phase is also known as exploratory stage. The first stage of career development cycle can be called the stage of apprenticeship, and it is part of the early career development. In this stage, an employee establishes himself, but also has to accept a psychological state of dependence. This stage begins after the education is completed and the first job is taken. This is the stage when individuals are trying to adapt to being an employee, getting established in their work, socializing with their working environment, getting familiar with the organization and co-workers, starting to achieve some initial success, and developing relationships between their career and personal life. To overcome all the problems that characterize the beginning of the professional life, the newcomers have to work close to the more experienced people. They have to develop a professional and clear relationship with their supervisors, and that is the reason why this stage is called apprenticeship. Stage 2 is advancement or establishment. The major tasks that employees deal within this stage are confronting and reappraising their early career decisions as well as their future productive work. The most crucial element of this stage is independence, which implies high competence in solving business problems and dealing with the important business tasks without directions or control of managers. By achieving all the skills and abilities stated, the employee moves from the role of an apprentice to the role of a colleague. Passage to the second stage of career development depends on the employees having demonstrated competence in some specific area. If an employee is satisfied with his career, he will become more attached to the organization. Success achieved will make his aspirations higher, while dissatisfaction with the achievement and with further prospects can cause search for other possibilities outside the organization. Stage 3 is the maintenance stage. It belongs to the period of mid-career development. It is characterized with efforts to stabilize the gains of the past. New gains may be achieved here, but it may also happen that the new gains are not made in this stage. Nevertheless, this stage is the period of creativity. Till now, the employee has satisfied his psychological and financial needs and has become an independent employee, and this is the time of self-actualization. This is the period when an employee has confirmed his position in an organization, possesses requisite knowledge and skills, and does most for an organization. The professionals in this stage are supposed to become mentors to apprentices. Their main activities are training, mentoring, leading and influencing others, and taking care and responsibility for the work of younger colleagues. The last phase is strategic thinking or declining stage. The final stage is preparation for retirement. It can be divided in two parts. The first one is maintenance and the other part is withdrawing and preparing for retirement. The main task of those who are in this stage is to remain productive and to prepare for retirement, but some of them move up to the senior leadership roles in accordance with the organization's plan. This stage is not experienced by all the employees, particularly that part of this stage which is preparing for the executive roles. It is reserved only for the chief executives and for the key personnel of certain departments. In that status, professionals may have the roles of the executive managers, entrepreneurs, and idea generators. But the most important are the roles of sponsors and counselors. Being a sponsor or counselor, an individual can influence the organization, particularly the strategy and directions of the organization development. Every organization needs to provide career development opportunity to its employees. Indian organizations at present are facing major restructuring problems to keep pace with the economic restructuring programs of the country. Market globalization, technology upgradation, import liberalization, delicensing, increased competition together have now prompted Indian organizations to restructure their production vis-a-vis the organization. Redeploying the manpower through proper training in restructured job is one of the important priorities for the organization, particularly for those who are at the lower level. But employees with matching skill and knowledge now find them in better bargaining position for the increased job mobility. The other important reasons for career development are the changing environment is now making jobs more complex. Suitable career development programs enable employees to be better prepared for future positions in the organization. It also gives them the opportunity to identify prospective managers from within. Manning vacancies from within is cost efficient and at the same time system motivates employees. Suitable career development programs will enable the organization to receive maximum contribution from employees. Since this helps employees to enhance their skills for higher positions, both underutilization of employees' potential work energy and their underemployment can be avoided. Career development makes employees more adaptable to changing requirements of the organization. It provides an objective basis to describe the steps of progression in a given organization and therefore minimizes unfair promotion practices of employees and reducing the change of promotion by discretion philosophy. Most of the organizations are now also manned by women and other minority classes of employees. Career development programs ensures equitable opportunity for career progression of these classes of employees also. And finally, career development programs give opportunities to employees to acquire more skills, obtain desired jobs, share increased responsibility, and enjoy a scope of job mobility. The purpose and objective of career development can be listed as to attract and retain effective persons in an organization, to utilize human resource optimally, to improve morale and motivation level of employees, to reduce employee turnover, to practice a balanced promotion from within policy, to make employees adaptable to changes, to increase employees' loyalty and commitment to the organization and to maintain harmonious industrial relations. Career planning involves the steps you would take when you are not sure of where you want your career to go or even what you want to do in the future. It is relevant not only to young people trying to peer into their futures, but also for older workers who may be looking at moving out of one career and into another, but who may be unsure of where they want to go. Career planning, at its most fundamental, is the type of preliminary activity you take when you are deciding what type of career to enter into. Career planning may also be undertaken if you should decide at any point to change careers or transition to a new type of career focus within your field. And the third important concept is manpower planning. It is also called as human resource planning. Manpower planning is the process of estimating or projecting the number of personnel required for a project with different skill sets over a predefined period of time. Manpower planning also includes the details like how and when will the employee will be acquired. This whole process is done keeping in view the goals of the organization, the future predictions for business, and changing technology trends. This helps the organization to prepare for the future with the correct manpower at their disposal for business prosperity. Another concept that is confused with the career development is succession planning. It is the process whereby an organization ensures that employees are recruited and developed to fill each key role within the company. In this process, you ensure that you will never have a key role open for which another employee is not prepared. Through your succession planning process, you recruit superior employees, develop their knowledge, skills, and abilities, and prepare them for advancement or promotion into ever more challenging roles in your organization. Few issues that needs to be considered at different stages of career development process are: at the exploratory stage, an organization should ensure the availability of accurate information about the organization and the various occupations existing in organizations to the new employee. Create opportunities to enable new employees to get acquainted with the organizational careers through job rotation, internship, seminars, etc. And sponsor educational and training programs for ensuring supply of potential talent in future. For establishment stage, an organization should ensure identification of the best possible talent for the organization, conveyance of correct and positive image of the organization to the employee, maximum learning and favorable attitudes of the employees towards the organization, and assigning challenging jobs to employees to enable them to test their abilities and skills. For the mid-career maintenance stage, the organization should provide a continuing process of performance appraisals, feedback, career counseling, etc. to ensure proper deployment of the employees and also to enable them to feel challenged, motivated, and committed to the organization. Strategies to motivate plateaued employees so that they can be productively utilized even without promotion. And adequate opportunities for transition from specialist cadres to generalist positions at higher echelons of the organization, and to help employees to prepare for retirement. And finally, for the declining stage, the organization should try to manage retirement without destroying the employee's sense of self-worth and invent new and creative part-time roles for retired employees who can use their knowledge, experience, and wisdom. At every stage of the career, employees also make an effort to develop their own information sources. They analyze the feedbacks on their performance, seek opportunities for development, study the career paths available to them, and provide organizational details of their perceived needs, goals, and ambitions. Mobility refers to the movement of employees and managers both within and outside an organization for better opportunities. The term better opportunities can be viewed in terms of increased compensation, high job position, more scope of career growth, increased learning opportunities, better work cultures, lower levels of stress, and so forth. Mobility of human resources is necessary to cope with changing requirements of the organization. The reasons of mobility lies in culmination of performance and other employment related terms and conditions. However, job performance of employees as assessed through performance appraisal system is a major reason of internal or sometimes even external mobility of employees. The major objectives of mobility with regard to performance management and appraisal are to improve the organizational performance. Effective functioning of the organization depends on the capability and performance of its human resources. People can work properly if job requirements are defined adequately and right man is placed on the right job. All this cannot be implemented without mobility system in place. To optimize employee performance, there should be the proper match between employee competencies and job requirements. Proper matching results in high job performance and assists in internal mobility of employees. And at the same time, employees are motivated and derive psychological satisfaction from such mobility. To cope with changes, given dynamic business environment under which organizations operate, various kinds of mobility is not only required but often desirable. For example, during economic boom, organizations expand their operations, resulting in increased availability of job opportunities for employees that results in mobility, both internal as externally. Internal mobility occurs in order to retain competent and performing employees within the organization, while external mobility happens when either attracting career opportunities are unavailable within the organization or the external job opportunity is extremely attractive for the employees. The final objective is to reward and punish performance. Internal mobility can be the result of both reward and punishment in order to control the employee's efforts and behaviors towards optimization of individual and organizational performance. Mobility is of two types: internal mobility and external mobility. Mobility within the organization is termed as internal mobility, which is exemplified in promotion, demotion, and transfer. Internal mobility is an offshoot of performance management and appraisal system. The various types of internal mobility mechanisms are influenced by performance management and appraisal system. These are promotion. Promotion is advancement of an employee to a better job, better in terms of greater responsibility, more prestige or status, greater skill, and especially increased level of compensation. Promotions can be vertical, lateral, and dry, but they are generally awarded as recognition of better performance. Second type of internal mobility is demotion. It is the reassignment of an employee to a job of lower rank with lower compensation and benefits. Demotion involves the placement of an employee to a lower standard and status than his existing post. The third type is transfer. It is a lateral shift causing movement of individuals from one position to another, usually without involving any marked changes in duties, responsibilities, skills needed, or compensation. Mobility outside the organization is termed as external mobility and includes resignation, retrenchment, layoff, terminations, and voluntary retirement schemes. Performance management and appraisal systems generates data and information of performance levels of individual employees. Based on those data, management can decide which employee are to be put on separation list and which one on to the continuing list. The various types of external mobility mechanisms that are influenced by performance management and appraisal are: separation. It implies cessation of employment of an employee with an organization for any reason whatsoever. This cessation of employment is both voluntary as well as involuntary. The separation is said to be voluntary when the employee initiates the separation process out of his free will. Resignation and voluntary retirement schemes falls under the category of voluntary separation, while retrenchment, layoff and termination fall under the category of involuntary separation. Voluntary retirement scheme is a voluntary separation initiated under a mutual agreement between the organization and its employees. It is basically a downsizing strategy of the organization. Several private and public sector organizations had initiated such schemes to shed excess manpower in order to stay competitive. For example, many public sector nationalized banks initiated voluntary retirement schemes for their employees to get rid of poor performance and deadwoods. But unfortunately, it was later found that many good performing employees have opted for voluntary retirement scheme, with the result that the organization continued to bear poor performance and at the same time lost its horses. Thus, performance management and appraisal system play a pivotal role in management decision making on employee mobility. It has been observed that many times the CEOs of the premier public sector organizations were appointed without any reference to their qualification, experience and capability. Moreover, many officers of the administrative services are neither educated nor trained to handle the intricacies of business management. All these factors lead to a situation where heads are virtually dependent on their political mentors for survival in the organization. Therefore, they devote more time and attention in pleasing and obliging them rather than driving business performance of the organization. There is an urgent need to correct this malpractice so that the heads of the organization, especially in public sector, are appointed and retained for their performance and contributions by using a responsive and effective executive performance management and appraisal system. To summarize the discussion, career development is the process that forms a person's work identity. It is a significant part of human development and spans over the individual's entire lifetime. Beginning when the individual first becomes aware of how people making a living. For example, when a child notices that some people are doctors, engineers, carpenters, it signals the start of this process. It continues as that person begins to explore occupations and ultimately decides what career to pursue with himself or herself. Employee mobility is an issue that has taken on a whole new meaning as more and more business have gone global. Employees today are commonly asked to take assignments in company locations outside their home country. These kinds of opportunities are seen as benefits by many employees who enjoy experience new cultures and the multicultural exposure. Managing employee mobility is important though, because without the right training and planning, employees moving to foreign countries will not be prepared to meet the challenges such moves present. The company does not want to find itself faced with loss of productivity or worse, loss of its best manager because of lack of planning. Being prepared to address the issues related to employee mobility should be included in the company's strategic planning. Happy learning!